but my Aunt Louisa was really excited. She said, "Hey, I got the Johnson." And he said, "Oh, you got the vaccine?" And she said, "No." Something else. Something else.
That's a good one.
Right.
I like that. No.
No.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. This is season 3 of Shooting the Breeze. And tonight, my guest is Danny Dechi. He's a comic based out of San Francisco, California. And we've performed a few times together. And I was on his show, I think, early, like January 1st, I think. So he's my guest tonight. Welcome, Danny. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Simone. Yeah, I'm glad to be here, and glad to see you again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice to see you too. Because I think the last time we saw each other or performed together was on your monthly show. And I
Yeah.
think it was the first one of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beginning of the year, probably. I don't remember because yeah, it's a monthly Funny Fest every first Friday,
Hmm.
and yeah. So the next one is this coming Friday.
This
Next
coming
one.
Friday, yes, because it's the
Yeah.
beginning of the month. So how long have you been running that mic?
Well, ever since been running it ever since the pandemic. So about it
Okay.
early on, I can't. Yeah, pretty much a year. But this show is actually originally to right now on Zoom. It's a showcase, but it's been always a competition, and it was began by my late friend Albert Lee. He passed away in November. It, health complications,
Yeah, I'm
and
sorry.
yeah, and um, so yeah, I was very sad about that. And but we've been doing this show for about 6 years, and it's a Funny Fest competition. And we have the way it works is we have about 10 comedians, I guess. If I remember, I gotta look up all the info of the date. It's been a year and a half, but it's a competition. We have 10 comedians who perform on the show, and there's a winner. There's a $30 winner on every time on the live show. The comedians do pay, but to get on the show, but there is a winner at every show. There's a winner, and then there's a finals at the end of
So
the
all the winners
season.
of the previous shows.
Yeah, and they get $100 winner. So,
Oh, cool.
so
And that's been
um,
running 6 years?
and not this year because of the pandemic. It was just a free showcase on. Nobody pays. It's just a regular showcase,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully they'll start up again next year. They'll start
Right.
up.
Because have restrictions been lifted where you are? Like, can you go in, like, perform indoors and things like that?
Yeah, pretty much. San Francisco, we've been pretty good in San Francisco with the restrictions. I'm saying pretty well, meaning that tighter restrictions, I guess. But it's been loosening up, but still, a lot of places are still going very carefully.
Okay.
Some places still require masks and everything, even though it's been free for all. I mean, not free for all, but we've been having Giants games, San Francisco Giants baseball games. That's the latest one that's gone no restrictions.
Oh, wow. And
Yeah,
thousands
last
of
week.
people in one spot.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because
Wow.
we have a good efficiency in San Francisco.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good.
Hmm.
I haven't been in a crowd that big.
Hmm.
I think the last big crowd I was around was I went to see Sebastian Maniscalco. He was in Ottawa and he was at the arena where they play the hockey game, so it's
Uh-huh.
huge.
Oh
And so
yeah.
thousands of people,
Hmm.
and that was November of 19. So a few months before. I think that was the last like huge gathering,
Uh-huh.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, it's been a while for a lot. I can't remember. I have gatherings. I've been having. I do. I do weekly shows, Tuesday shows, live weekly shows. I actually had to find out. I don't know if the venue I've been doing this closed down or not. I have to. I've been meaning to contact them.
Okay.
Yeah, I have, but they didn't get back to me, so they might be closed. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, because we've lost a couple of places in Ottawa where they went under, so
Yeah.
where we used to where people would have their shows at,
Hmm.
don't exist anymore, which is a shame.
Yeah, yeah, people, yeah.
Because we're still under pretty tight restrictions in Ontario. Like we still have to wear masks.
Hmm.
Um, in terms of comedy, we can't go indoors. So some places have like shows in the park or rooftop shows. Um, I
Hmm.
think we might start with indoor dining like end of July because we're just moving into this more relaxed
Hmm.
mode this week. I think tomorrow we move into like
Hmm.
little more relaxed, and then hopefully, if nothing happens, no spikes or anything, we can move into even more still tight restrictions, but like uh, instead of 50% capacity, you might be able to have 75% or something like
Hmm.
that, as opposed to like the 25%
Hmm.
that
Yeah, and
things
San
are.
Francisco, also you kind of restrictive, which I guess I can understand. San Francisco, there's it's allowed to have indoor dining. I don't know if there are any restrictions now. I think it's pretty,
Okay.
and the reason is because pretty much everybody's been fully vaccinated in San Francisco. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, especially, what about you where you're at? Is there a highly vaccinated number there?
They're getting up there a lot. I know a lot of people who have gotten their vaccinations. I got my second shot yesterday,
Oh,
so
yesterday.
I'm fully
Okay.
vaccinated now. Yeah, so it's happening up here too, and I know the government can keep track of who gets the shot and how many people are, have their first dose, how many people are completely fully vaccinated, and hopefully by I don't know midsummer or something, we reach those levels that the herd immunity can kick in,
Hmm.
so that those
Yeah.
who can't get the shot for whatever reason or don't want to take the shot, at least they're protected too. If the majority of us are
Hmm.
vaccinated,
Yeah.
that's all we can hope for at this point.
Yeah, we'll see.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, it's too bad the rest of the world, yeah, it's not really fully vaccinated, and I was, yeah, I was hoping they would be able to pass a formula around to other countries so they can produce it, but that's
right?
not been happening. Um,
Yeah, because there's some
mm,
places that don't have access to it, or they've run out and stuff like
yeah,
that.
I mean, it's kind of really something for being that mostly the U.S. is supplying vaccines for the whole world. That's it'd be, there's,
Hmm.
they probably need like 15 billion vaccines,
Yeah.
and it's too bad that the other countries can't make it on their own.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Because we had
it's my
issues in
theory.
Canada with
Yeah.
supplies running low. That like people had appointments, but they
Oh.
ran out of vaccines and stuff like that. Things seem to be okay now. I
Mm-hmm.
know some like massive shipments have come in and stuff like that, and to the point where people are able to move their second appointment up sooner, which
Mm-hmm.
is what I was able to do because my I got my first dose at the end of April, and my second dose was scheduled for August.
Uh,
And
April and then August.
yeah, it was like 4 months.
Wow.
They were counting them 4 months out.
Mm-hmm.
But I was able to move it closer, so I got it done yesterday. So,
Oh, good.
and
Yeah.
yeah, I know a lot of people have been doing that where I live, at least. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah, I got mine late May, my second vaccine. But ever since I got it, like whenever I cough, it sounds like I sound like a computer turning on. So yeah. So and people telling me, "Oh, you're always talking about Bill Gates. Why don't you marry him? You like him so much." Yeah. Ever since I got the vaccine, what a coincidence. Yeah. But
Did you get sick
uh,
after?
no,
No.
neither time. No, didn't get
Okay.
no effect at all. Really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which shot did you get? Was it
Uh,
Pfizer or?
yeah.
Okay.
Pfizer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one did you get?
I got Moderna.
Moderna. Yeah.
But
Any
I
effects?
no, just my arm is just really sore. Like the arm is more sore this time than the
Mm-hmm.
last time, and
Mm-hmm.
that's it. I might be a little tired, but
Okay.
other than
Have
that,
plenty of
like I was
fluids.
fine.
Just to make sure. Yeah, drink plenty of fluids.
Yeah,
I did that.
yeah. So yeah, I was lucky. I didn't. I had no effect no effects the first shot, and none so far. But I know we had AstraZeneca in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was approved for the States or not, but
Yeah.
I know a few people who got that shot did get sick
Uh,
within, like, they felt like hell for like 24 to 48 hours.
mm-hmm.
This thing came in, kicked their asses, and then
Yeah.
left. Yeah. So I know a
Yeah.
few people who got knocked
Mm.
down.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody. Yeah, we don't do the AstraZeneca in the U.S. I think I don't know. Oh,
Yeah.
but my aunt Louisa was really excited. She said, "Hey, I got the Johnson," and he said, "Oh, you got the vaccine?" And she said, "No." Something else. Something else.
That's a good one.
Thanks.
I like the no.
No.
So, how long have you been performing as a comedian?
Oh, actually, 20 years in March. It's been 20 years
Oh, wow.
in March, and also hosting. I host a lot, and
Yeah,
a
you
lot of
host and
shows.
produce a lot of shows too.
Yeah, I host. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I'm actually looking. I host a couple of shows that are pretty much here in my neighborhood, walking distance.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really convenient. Um, what drew you to comedy? Like, what was it? Something you've always wanted to do? Was it just out of curiosity? Like, how did you get started?
Yeah, I always had jokes, even when I was a little kid. I came up with jokes. Actually, I can tell you the first joke I remember as a kid. I was like 8 years old. Our class, the class, we went on a field trip to the museum to see the King Tut exhibition. And yeah, when I got back, not all the kids went. Just it was just like our class. So went back to the school. I told some of the kids, they asked me, "Hey, well, how was the King Tut exhibition?" And I said, "Well, I was really disappointed because he was dead." King Tut was dead. That was my first. And I always told little jokes like that, but I never thought it was that great to be on stage. But yeah, then in my 30s, I found out that yeah, some of my jokes actually were similar. Some of my jokes were by coincidence on TV. I saw them. This is coincidence and stuff like that. So I thought, hey, maybe I should try that. And I was living in Connecticut at the time, and so I said, as soon as I come back to San Francisco, I'm going to start doing a. I'm going to try to get to comedy. I've always been very shy to get on stage, but hey, I did it, and it worked. I always
You're hooked.
enjoyed comedy, whether it was
Yeah.
Looney Tunes or the old stand-ups on the Ed Sullivan and things like that. I always enjoyed it. And then one day I thought, hey, okay, I think I'm good enough to do it
Yeah.
on
Like,
stage.
if you hear a joke that you came up with something similar and it's on TV, you're like, yeah, I think I can.
Yeah, yeah, it happened a number of times. Yeah, it
Yeah.
happened a number of times.
No,
And so I
that's
thought, yeah,
cool.
I should do it. Yeah.
Do you remember your first set? Your very first
My
set?
first set, it was, yeah, some of the jokes are, yeah, I was joking about, it was an open mic. So I said, I think my first joke was, oh, so this is open mic night. It reminds me of a time when I used to work at the medical school. When I went to the medical school, we used to have open mic night there too. It was different, stuff like, yeah, and I can't remember other jokes and stuff, but um, then then after I started doing comedy on stage, I somehow things that I heard on the radio or commercials or whatever on TV or whatever. It's still today now. Until today, I hear something and so it creates a joke in my head.
Yeah, I
Even if I
think we
see,
all think that way, that we hear stuff and we're like, can we make this funny? How can I make this into a bit? Like, I
yeah,
think, yeah,
yeah,
and
or
it's
even
it's
see
like a
something.
reflex now. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like that. It's like even a tree. I saw an olive tree, um, an olive tree. So I thought, within a few seconds, it popped in my head. And I said, came up with a joke saying that my father used to be a peaceful man. He would always beat me with an olive branch. So, so just from walking by a tree, that did
Yeah.
that.
I've also lost some bits because I was like driving or something, and I'd be like, "Oh,
Mhm.
that's really great. Yeah, I'll remember it in
Oh yeah,
15 minutes when I get to work or when I get home." and have
Yeah,
lost it.
yeah, I know. It's really
Yeah.
something. You think there's no way I can forget this joke. It's
Yeah,
a
this
great
is
joke.
great. There's no way I can forget it, and you
Yeah,
forget
and you
it.
do. Yeah, yeah,
Like unless you record it or you write it down right away, which is what I
yeah,
try to do. Yeah, because I've lost some good bits. you know?
yeah, yeah. It's yeah, me too. I found a way to I was lazy about writing it down, but now I'm more uh, um, yeah, I do try to write down whether it's send myself an email or something or whatever,
Yeah,
or a
yeah, just
piece of
something where
paper.
you've captured it, and if you look back, if you go to it like a few days later, it'll trigger. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I get into comedy. I also wasn't too keen on hosting. I don't think I was always a great host, but somebody asked me to host. Just started doing a weekly hosting show to host, and yeah, it became funner, and it was actually good. I found that it's I can expand on my comedy by hosting.
yeah.
You can things pop up and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. I remember yeah, I even come up with jokes and or after somebody gets a comedian gets
Yeah,
off the
stuff on the
stage.
spot. Yeah, to do
Yeah,
callbacks and stuff.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
fun. Like
it
like
it uses a hosting uses a completely different muscle. It's like
yeah.
it's like like a different part of your brain because it's not the usual you get up there, you do your 5 to 7 minutes or whatever, and then you leave. It's like you have to be engaged for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
entire show.
Yeah.
you
Listen up
know?
for comedian jokes. Like I remember funniest one. It was a comedian was talking about how much she liked to smoke pot and all that stuff, and she also wrote a book and everything like that. And she likes to smoke this. She'll smoke anything, smoke that. And then so when she got off the stage, I told the audience, yeah, make sure you buy her book before she smokes it.
Yeah, so exactly. To be able to come up with stuff on the fly like that or to recall something that someone said or yeah, it's a different skill set. It's a good skill set to have, to
Yeah.
get your brain thinking like a different way,
hmm
like more yeah, you're thinking more like on the spot
hmm
sort of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah. I didn't appreciate being a host until I started doing it. Yeah.
exactly.
Uh,
Yeah, because
well,
it's a lot to keep track of. You gotta, everybody's names,
mhm,
just the timing sometimes,
mhm.
depending on how big the show is. Sometimes the host is also, giving you the light and all of that. So
Yeah. I
yeah,
got
there
to
are a
keep
lot
track
of
of those. That's to
a
keep
lot of
track of
things in
the
the air.
line and the list. I'm pretty organized now. I have a list of the comedians and people the way I do it is people want to come perform my show. They tell me ahead of time, and I just put them in the order that they ask me, and then I just print it out and I do the everybody gets 5 minutes, I guess, five
Yeah,
or 7 minutes, and I have the light, and I try to,
yeah.
be aware of things.
Yeah, and I find I keep coming up with like different ways to give people the light. Like I don't know. First I, would hold my phone, but
hmm
depending on how they had their screen set up, they might not see it.
Right? Yeah.
And then for a little while I had a sound that I play on my
Oh,
phone, but that was like a little too jarring
yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah. We do
Um
it live. Yeah. If
yeah. And so what I've been doing I only did it I think the last show was if like let's say give someone the light at 30 seconds, let's say,
mhm,
and 30 seconds comes and they're still talking, I just appear on the
mhm,
screen next to them. you know and then I haven't had to cut anyone off,
mhm.
but I've appeared on screen a few times.
Oh, yeah. When you do the live show, you gotta make sure I wait till their vision's there and I can show them the light. Have a little
Yeah,
light thing, little red
yeah,
light,
and then they acknowledge it,
and
hopefully.
yeah, yeah. A lot of times you see new comedians starting out for the first time or second, and they said, "Yeah, I don't have much material. I want. There's not a whole lot I can say." And they were on there for so long, and you see the light,
Drag them off.
light.
Oh, I remember my very, very first set. I missed the light. Like I
Uh,
knew where it was supposed to come from,
yeah.
but I must have like had my head turned or something. I didn't see it, so I
hmm
kept going because I'm
Oh,
like, I'll
yeah.
see the light. And the funny thing is that I had a friend in the audience taping, like recording it
Mhm.
from my phone.
Uh-huh.
So I had one angle and didn't see anything, but then another comic who had recorded the whole show had a camera like straight on,
Hmm.
and my head was turned, and you just see like the big flash, but I missed it. So when I turned
Yeah.
around, as far as I was concerned, the light didn't go off. So I
Uh-huh.
kept going, and I think instead of doing 6 minutes, I did like 9 or
Right.
something.
Okay.
You
But,
know, because I remember feeling like I think I've been here too long, like,
mhm.
but missed it
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah, I guess also the light is stationary one place, because I go up close when it's about time to for the community to get off. I get close to the stage and show them the light so they can see it close. And
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It all depends. Yeah, it depends on like the venue you're in.
hmm,
Because sometimes you can go right up in front of them and do
yeah,
it.
yeah.
You
Although if
know?
it's a club, the clubs they just have the light one. They're kind of like
Hmm.
kind of strict. They have the light in one place, and you
Yeah,
have to record
exactly.
there and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
And then like another place had a clock. I don't
oh,
remember if they flashed the light, but they had a clock. And my thing is I always forget. Like I'll look at the clock and it could say 6:13, let's say.
hmm,
And in that split second, I'm like, okay, 6:13. It means when it says like 6:19, I should be done
yeah, right. Yeah.
everything. But then I start and I look up and I'm like, I can't remember the number it started at.
Right, right.
That's
Yeah,
the thing. I just like
yeah, yeah.
gone.
It happens to everybody. Yeah. Maybe
I'm
they
like,
should
what
have
did
a
it say?
timer or something. Yeah. Yeah, you forget you're doing your thing, and it's easy to forget the
Yeah,
time you started.
exactly. So I try to time myself beforehand so that when I'm getting on stage, I know like, okay, when I was rehearsing this at home, it
Hmm.
came in at 5 minutes, like 5.5 minutes or so.
Hmm.
Or when
Yeah.
I get at this point, I'm at like the 5 minute mark or something that.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so I try to do that
Hmm.
where, that I have an idea of like, okay, this set is 6 minutes.
Hmm.
I have 7 minutes, but this set is 6 minutes.
Hmm.
Then I don't have to really worry about it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
in the
Mm.
beginning when I first started, I want to do like all my jokes, like all 10 jokes that I
Uh-huh.
had. You know?
Yeah. 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 When I first started, I don't feel I have enough time, and I kind of rush the jokes and everything like that. So,
Hmm.
um, but it's good to yeah. I learned that it's if, yeah, maybe you won't get through all of your jokes, but as long as you tell them well, without rushing it.
Right.
That's,
Yeah. That what you do say, you've said it well. Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I know at the beginning, like when you're first starting out, it's like a lot to keep track of.
Oh, yeah.
So
Hmm.
that also comes with experience, and the more you do it, then those things become automatic,
Hmm.
sort of thing that you'll know. Like it's like I have like an internal clock that I'll be like especially looking for the light because I'm like, okay, this is about, I'm about a minute or two out. The light's going to be coming soon, you
Hmm.
know? But to get yourself to the point where you're thinking of all those things, it takes time. That takes time and doing it over and over and over.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, oh, yeah. You get experience after a while, and I mean, how long have you been doing comedy for? Like
A year and a half.
year and a half.
September it'll
Oh,
be 2 years.
pretty good. You seem like you've been doing it for longer. Okay.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I was
Yeah.
doing it in my head for years before I
Uh,
actually, before I actually
yeah. The
took
way
the.
I do is I never I'm too lazy anyway, but I never write out all my jokes word for word. I just write a few, yeah, a couple of words at the most. Keep a list of it, and I don't know. It depends how I feel. Like I have a bunch of jokes, and I write like whatever 7 or 10 jokes for that show before I go up, and I remember I don't take the piece of paper with me, but I look at that piece of paper and I try to remember those words
Hmm.
and in the order that I say. So
Yeah,
it's like I'm
because mine
rehearsing
is a
everything.
bit of a process. Like I have to write the whole joke out, and then
Hmm.
like I edit it and all kinds of stuff. But say
Hmm.
when it's ready that I could start performing it, I would have
Hmm.
it written out and just do it over and over and over to the point where I could just have like a keyword and I
Uh-huh.
know, okay, it's this bit.
Yeah, that's
But
it. Yeah.
that takes sometimes it takes longer.
Hmm.
Um, or I should say sometimes it's easier to do than other times.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
like
yeah.
if you're tired or whatever, it's not gonna it's not gonna work as
Yeah.
efficiently. But yeah, and the thing is, like, doing these Zoom shows, like, I'm doing my first live show on Thursday, and I'm
Oh,
like, I'm not gonna have my monitor in front of me with my
wow.
set. It's like
Oh,
I
yeah.
gotta make
Yeah.
sure I have it in my brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
you
So,
know?
yeah, if you can write a list of keywords and try to remember that little by little.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
And yeah, so yeah, and yeah, even especially like if you come up with a new joke, sometimes you just keep forgetting it show after show, keep forgetting to tell it,
Mhm.
but then it eventually gets there. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, I should know them because I've been performing them. So I should, if anything, it's going to be nerves that I'd forget. You know?
Mm.
But have you been doing, like, apart from producing them, have you been performing on a lot of Zoom shows like over the
Oh,
last
yeah,
year?
yeah, I've been on a lot of shows. Yeah, I've been
Yeah,
a
me
lot of,
too.
yeah, yeah, I got shows all this week through
Yeah.
Thursday at least. Yeah, through Thursday had
I'm
two
doing
shows.
something like practically every day
Uh-huh. Yeah.
of some, either I'm watching or I'm in it or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, there's so much show. There's so many. There's the, displaced comedians
Mm-hmm.
and other,
Yeah, there's so many
shows.
groups.
Yeah,
If
we've
you,
been
you
on
could
a
have
bunch
your
of.
local groups,
Yeah,
and then like international groups like displaced comedians
yeah.
and
Have we
stuff
done
like that, where
international?
people like from all over,
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
Have we done? I'm not sure we did together, but yeah, there's shows from Tokyo and
Yeah,
England.
yeah. Because
And
we've done a handful of shows together. That's how we met. We met on, I can't remember whose show it was.
I
Was
think
it
about
Jerry's show?
I've done Jerry's. Yeah,
Yeah, it was probably Jerry's show
Jerry's show. Yeah, I
that
know.
we
Right?
met.
I think.
And I like your dry sense of humor, and I like the style of your jokes. You're a good joke writer.
Yeah, thank you.
I like
Appreciate
the
that.
stuff you I like the stuff you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Thank you. Yeah, wacky stuff, and I think we're both clean comedians, I guess, or sort of. I mean,
um
we don't do
yeah,
f
I don't
bombs.
swear a lot in mine.
Yeah,
Like, I might drop one or two F bombs, but yeah,
yeah,
I'm mainly clean-ish.
yeah. It was pretty good with that. It's yeah, and it doesn't matter if it's adult situation and stuff like that. But yeah, I didn't. I never had. That's the normal way I normally speak anyway. I never do use f bombs or things like
Yeah.
that. That's how I normally
Yeah.
speak.
Like, yeah, exactly. It's like maybe if I'm like talking with friends and you're a little more relaxed, but yeah, I
Hmm.
never swore excessively on stage.
Yeah.
Like, if I say it, it's like for impact sort of
Hmm.
thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. It's
yeah, I
also a
don't.
better way to get on if you ever
Mhm.
get on TV, on national TV. It's good to yeah, they don't want to hear f bombs.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah. See, so,
And I think it's easier to slip into like swearing and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah, it's easier. Yeah, a lot easier.
Um, and
I
I
think I
think to
saw.
keep your set like completely clean, like that's a skill on its own.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
I think I saw Sam Kinison like the first time he was on the David Letterman show, and he was kind of struggling, and he was also repeating, "Oh, I can't use this word," and while he was telling me the jokes, it was kind of funny. Actually, the way
He's like, I have nothing to
he
say.
had to be clean, he had to be clean on David Letterman. I mean, not super clean, but yeah, you had to be careful. It was funny watching him just being careful and explaining to people, "No, I can't say this." It was just funny.
He's
There's a clip
talking
on the YouTube
slowly.
about it.
It's true. It's true, because I could see that being a challenge if you're used to being like in a club environment or a bar
Mhm.
environment where you could just let loose if you want to, and
Right.
then now you're in a situation where it can just slip off your tongue so
Mhm.
easily, and to
Yeah.
try and rein that in and keep that in, that's going to be hard.
Yeah. Yeah. It's you can do that, but I guess it's and today it's okay. I guess I've seen comedians go on network TV, and they just get bleeped out. That's all.
That's true. That's true.
They
That
just get
seems to
bleeped
be
out.
the
Even
next.
their faces, their mouth is digitized, and but they go ahead and do it.
Yeah, it's just censored out. Like they've said it, but we don't hear it on.
Yeah,
Yeah, because yeah, they like you said, they pixelate the mouth and then do
yeah,
some sound over it. Yeah,
yeah.
because it would. I don't know. I think you should be able to add or take out swear words without it affecting your joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. There's a way around. I mean, there's a way to not. You don't need to use. I mean, sometimes you might really necessarily need it, but I think you can get away with. Um,
mhm.
you don't need to use f bombs and things
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
That's good.
Because
That's good.
I try to work as clean as possible. Like I said, I don't swear a lot in my act anyway.
Hmm.
But I've been trying to. My material's not that clean. It's but
Right.
you know trying to do it, trying to say the nasty stuff clean. You know what I
Yeah, yeah. You
mean?
can say, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can
Yeah,
say nasty stuff clean.
you can say
I
weird
think of
like weird stuff clean.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember when. Okay, I guess the dirtiest joke I have is I was saying how um, my girlfriend broke up with me because she didn't like to do doggy style, and they said she used to say to me, "Stop that! Don't do that! I don't like doggy style." And then I would say,
No.
"What? You don't like Scooby Doo? Scooby Doo likes you." Yeah, yeah. That's my dirtiest one, I guess. Yeah.
That's funny. So I'm just gonna check.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've performed on many on a lot of shows over the years, over the past year. Um,
Mhm.
do you plan on still running your online shows, or are you going to stop them at some point?
Yeah, I was contemplating that. I'm not sure. Um, I only have the only show I do is the first Friday show. I don't know. Um, I got one in July, this Friday, and I actually not sure if because actually I don't know if I'll be going live. But maybe I'll go. I I don't know. Actually, eventually maybe um, I don't know. Well, actually, we'll see how things go to see if there are other Zoom shows or there are other people want to keep going. Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
just talking with you. I just thinking, man, maybe I'll keep going another a little bit more. Do the first. It's only once a month,
right.
and then hopefully I'll get back to doing the weekly shows
The
they're
live
done
ones, yeah.
depending on the venue and um, yeah, I hope they didn't close because it was a great place to have the Funny Fest comedy competition. Um, and yeah, I emailed them and no answer back, and I went by their place and it was closed one time. I know the I yeah, maybe it's later in the evening or something, but I know. Um, yeah, it depends on a lot of things, but it'd be cool. What do you think? You think there'll be some Zoom shows going on after all this?
I hope so. Because what I really liked about it is like I got to meet so many people from so many different places
Oh, yeah,
that probably would never have met. I probably
yeah.
would never have met more than half the people that I've met over the last year because of like online shows and stuff. So I like for that, from that aspect, I hope it keeps going. I'm sure, I'm sure like the frequency and the number of shows will reduce, but I hope there's still some. Like my show, when I first started it last year, I did it monthly. And then when we went into like a lockdown at Christmas till like March or so, I
Hmm.
started doing it every 2 weeks. So
Hmm.
I've done it every 2 weeks since January.
Hmm.
And
Okay,
things
yeah.
are starting to open up now. And so I still want to keep it, but I think instead of, I'll go to monthly now. And then depending
Yeah.
on like how busy I am, how busy, because I have a feeling like people are just going to want to consume comedy,
Yeah,
you
that's a
know?
good point. I think yeah, some people that don't go to clubs or whatever or venues might still want to see. I'm sure
Yeah.
they would actually see comedy, and
Hmm.
um, yeah. So um, Yeah, there are actually a bunch of shows that I've been doing, all that actually not they canceled because they're going live now. That's one of the reasons. And some other shows had reduced number of comedians on there because people are starting to go live again.
Right,
It's only
exactly.
going
And
live.
I know of because it happened a couple of times like before where um some a comic was booked on my show but then they got a live booking. It's like take the live booking. Like it's fine. Go do it
Mhm.
live if you have the chance, go do it live
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So I know that stuff like that um you know I want to keep that um a consideration. Like I have two shows scheduled. The next one's
Hmm.
July 8th, and the one after that is the 22nd.
Hmm.
And the show on the 22nd is up in the air because we should be more open
Hmm.
Thursday nights, especially since things have been opening up. Thursday night, Wednesday through Sunday is like busy comedy night,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
so getting people to getting people on online on a Thursday night when they could be performing live or at a live show might be a challenge. So
Hmm.
um, I
Yeah.
might try
I,
it
yeah.
once a month, maybe every other month. We'll
Yeah. You have
see.
to get a feel for it, I guess. You have to get a
Yeah,
feel for something
exactly,
that
exactly.
I,
Because
I,
I think it's a good thing to
yeah,
be able
I
to.
think once a month would work. I think
Mhm.
once a month
Yeah, because I like
would
the
work.
aspect of having people from different places, people you wouldn't ordinarily get to see.
Hmm.
You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like you said, it's great. I mean, got to get to know well a lot of comedians throughout the country, throughout parts of
Yeah.
the world, and we've seen each other often. For example, a lot of comedians in New York. I got to meet a lot of comedians in New York and Canada,
Yeah.
and it's like we've known each other, but we've only known each other on Zoom.
Virtually, exactly.
But then,
But yeah, like relationships have formed, friendships have formed
yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, and also even if some comedians visiting one place or the other, you can have them. Yeah, we always
Yeah, you
have
have
the
contacts.
show. If you're
Yeah.
ever in San Francisco, you're welcome to perform.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's really cool that it's like a network that um I never even thought about before. Like
Yeah,
before pandemic, it was just like my local area was like my network sort of thing.
exactly. Yeah,
Ottawa and like the cities within like a 2-3 hour radius,
hmm, yeah,
because it was like, when am I going to get to California? When am I going to do comedy in California or in Chicago or in New York? Like when, that's years off, if
yeah,
at all.
yeah. You never know. Yes, all these
Hmm.
places. Um, yeah, it's yeah, like I said, get to know a bunch of people. Yeah, friendly bonds with other comedians, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's great to get to know other comedians, and um, yeah, and also if they become more, so it adds to the list of Facebook friends that you have.
Yeah, exactly. I probably added like 400 people
Oh
in
yeah,
the last
probably,
year.
yeah, probably me myself too, probably something like that. I'm not sure about 100,
Because
but yeah,
you get a friend request and you're like, I don't know that name, but then you have like 78 people in common. They're like,
mhm.
they're a comic.
Yeah,
They're a
right,
comic.
exactly. That's how you look it up. Yeah, that's how you look it
You
up.
just
Yeah,
know.
I even got did a show a couple times at the Czech Republic, and it's in
Hmm.
English. They do it in English and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, I did that,
Yeah.
and
So
I
I
also
think that's
enjoyed
a great
doing.
aspect of it.
Yeah,
You know.
I also enjoyed doing it in Spanish. I did a couple of shows in Spanish. I
Oh
speak
wow.
Spanish. I'm from Argentina originally. Um,
Oh
I was
cool.
6 years old when our family came to San Francisco, but we always spoke Spanish at home. So we spoke English outside, work, school, and all that. But
Hmm.
at home we
You
spoke
spoke
Spanish, and
Spanish.
so I was yeah, speaking fluently, and
Oh, that's cool.
so yeah, I never thought about doing comedy in Spanish, and I thought at first I would, to prepare for this, I would have to kind of figure out how am I going to say it in Spanish. I would write it out or anything, but then I found out I could actually just tell it. I didn't have to go work through too much with it.
Oh,
Actually,
that's good.
I was able to translate instantly some of the jokes in Spanish. So,
Oh, that's good. Because I know I'm thinking of doing of trying it in French, you know. But I'm nervous because I'm like how much is involved to like translate my jokes, sort of thing. Like, and like they can be translated, but I'm like I can't memorize this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's hard.
I have to write some very simple jokes.
Yeah, yeah. It's easier than I thought, but it's yeah, and you could also you could also do Google Translate and just
Yeah,
read it out. That's
yeah,
what
because that's the thing.
someone
That's
did.
what I did. Like I took like a paragraph from a joke and translated it and put it in Google Translate. And like I
Mhm.
knew, okay, that's not the wording. I wouldn't say that, so work it around. But at least
Right?
you
Yeah.
get like an overview of how things are spelled and
Mm.
things like that. But I'm like, I want to try it, but I think it's gonna take some prep, like a lot of
Yeah.
preparation.
Yeah. So what language would you?
Oh, English is my mother tongue. That's my first language, but my second language is French.
Oh,
But
French. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
so like
Yeah.
I grew up in Montreal and Quebec, and
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
so I have that. But it's not my everyday language. It's not what I spoke at home. I spoke English at
Yeah.
home, so making my brain do that switch is going to be a challenge,
Hmm.
you know. So yeah,
Yeah.
either I can translate a few of my jokes and like just memorize that, but like I like to switch up my sets every couple of weeks.
Hmm.
I won't be doing that one. I'll just be
Yeah.
one,
Yeah. Yeah.
just that same. Wherever
Yeah.
I perform it, it's the same thing, until
Yeah.
I get really
Yeah.
comfortable doing it.
Yes. Some jokes. Yeah. You just can't translate either. I just.
Yeah, especially if it's like if there's like a play on words, it may
Hmm.
not.
Right. Right.
It may
Yes.
not.
Are you fluent in
Yeah.
French, sort of, or
Pardon me.
are you fluent in French? Kind of.
Not as fluent as English.
Yeah.
I don't speak it like a first language. Like I
Mhm.
understand it and I can speak it, but like I never tried comedy in French before because I was like I felt like I had to be like perfectly bilingual, like
Mhm.
fluent.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a comic I know here who performs in both languages, he's like, "No, your French is fine. You can do it." And
Mhm.
I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
so I'm going to at some point I'm going to try it.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
whether it's I'd prefer if it was on Zoom, but whether it's on Zoom or if it's at an actual open mic,
Yeah. Oh, Zoom.
I aim to do that at least once before the end of the year.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'll do like a
You
French
know a
set.
French?
Yeah.
Do you know any French places, French comedy where you can perform? Or
Yeah, well, where I live in Ottawa, and we're very close to the Quebec border
yeah.
in a city called Gatineau. And in
Hmm.
Gatineau, there are
Oh,
a
okay.
lot of like it's Gatineau is maybe like a 25-minute drive from where I am, and then
Uh-huh.
Montreal is only an hour and a half
Oh,
east of here. So there's
well,
access to French
yeah.
French
What about
clubs, you
Zoom?
know.
Oh, sorry. How about doing French on Zoom? Do you know any places on Zoom?
I haven't found. I'm sure there are.
Yeah.
I haven't found any
Yeah.
yet. I probably just don't know what to look under and stuff like that. But I'm in a couple of French speaking groups, comedy
Mhm.
groups,
Oh.
um, but they haven't been posting very much. So
Uh, hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. Maybe they don't do too much. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
But I have a few contacts who are in that world that I want to message them at some point and say, hey,
yeah.
I'd like to try this. Like direct me to a Zoom or an open mic or something,
Mhm.
you know. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. That would be a place open like so. Yeah. And yeah. So you can, I don't know. Maybe in July's coming up. So I don't know. I've been trying to see if I can start doing live comedy in July. If not August, I wouldn't want to wait more than August to start
yeah.
doing comedy.
Is
And
it hard to get spots where you are? Like, what's the comedy scene like in San Francisco?
is it hard to get a spot? You're saying?
Is it yeah? Is it hard to like to get on shows or get spots
No, no. There's
in
lots
San
of open
Francisco?
mics and showcases and things like that. It's
Okay.
hard. There in San Francisco. There are live shows every day of the week.
Oh
Every day.
wow.
all the time. Yeah. Um,
Okay.
yeah, there's that going on. I'm even though after the pandemic, I'm sure there's it's still going to be pretty much every day of the week,
Mm.
and you can do more than one, probably two. Some communities do three or four, or whatever, every night or whatever.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah, they
that's
got
very
nothing else to
different
do or
than
something.
here. I think only one time I actually did two live shows, like back to back.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, me too. A few times.
Hmm.
It is harder to get onto the clubs, of course. Um, it's hard to get. There aren't that many comedy clubs in in San Francisco. Um,
Okay. A
the
lot of
big comedy
independent
clubs.
shows.
What's that?
People do a lot of independent shows. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, basically, yeah, you just find any place, and sorry.
And if yeah, if
Okay.
the owner or manager is willing to have a comedy night in their
You can do it
restaurant,
anywhere.
yeah,
See, art spaces, coffee shops, and things
yeah,
like
everywhere.
bars. Yeah, anywhere.
Because we have two like official comedy clubs in Ottawa, um, but most of the shows are in independent shows, like out of restaurants or bars or
Yeah,
different spots. Like
yeah.
I have a spot coming up where I'm going to be on a pirate ship that sails in the Ottawa River.
Uh-huh.
It's like a sailing comedy hour sort of thing. So yeah, wherever you, I guess where you can set up a little stage and an amplifier and a
Yeah, right.
mic,
That's
you
all
can
you
do
need. You
it
don't need much for
anywhere.
comedy. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can do it anywhere.
Yeah, and anyone can, set up a show anywhere. It's
Yeah,
easy. And
yeah.
there are a lot of yeah, and joke around. There's some yeah, there are a lot like wherever I go in San Francisco, I always bump into a fellow comedian, which goes to show you that the largest ethnic group in San Francisco is comedians.
You
So,
bump into it everywhere
yeah,
you
yeah,
go.
pretty much almost every day when my out there again. So
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. But yeah, I know I was throwing around the idea of having like a pop-up show. So like
mm,
having equipment that I can set up anywhere,
mhm.
whether it's like in someone's backyard, somebody's house,
Yeah,
somebody's driveway, a park, So I know a couple of weeks ago I was just like, okay, what equipment do I need? And will it fit in my car? Like I have a little
mhm.
car, so it's got to be able to fit in
Yeah, yeah.
there.
You don't need much. I actually have myself. I haven't used it in a while, but an amp. It's a maybe about this big, like this. It works pretty well, and the microphone and a microphone stand, and yeah, the hardest part, I guess, it's not too heavy, but anyway, yeah, it's that, and carry that along,
Yeah.
and it'll fit easily in the car, and
Mm-hmm.
just
Because that's something I was like, that would be cool to do.
mhm.
To just like wherever I go, I have the equipment in my car,
Uh-huh.
and I go to a city where I know some comics, put a call out, hey, do you want to be on a show in the park in like an hour sort of
Uh-huh. Yeah.
thing, or organize it and
Mhm.
go
That's
from
a cool
place to
thing to
place
do.
and just set it up. So that's something I'd love to do.
Yeah, that's a
You
cool thing.
know, but yeah,
Yeah,
I gotta
yeah, I'm sure
gotta
you'll
get
get
that
plenty of
equipment.
comics to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because I know of one who has a whole setup, but he gears it to like to do it at people's homes in their backyard.
Hmm.
But he has everything: lights, mics, sound. I think all he uses is like to plug into the house or something. But yeah, so it's a whole experience. Just like how Cirque du Soleil puts everything up in
Hmm.
the tent up, it's the same thing. He's got all his equipment, sets it up, and it's like a full functioning show.
Yeah, yeah, that's all. Yeah,
Which is cool.
you don't need much as long as you get plenty of comedians and yeah, it's fine. You can
Yeah,
work. Yeah.
yeah. So that's something I'd
Hmm.
like to do. I like that aspect of, hmm, let's drive here and put on a show and like call a couple of people, organize it that way.
Yeah.
That's just seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be popular with the audience. People maybe being after a while they hear about it, word gets around. If it, yeah, people are always might be on the lookout. The audience might be on the lookout for another pop-up show,
Right.
and it might work, that way. I think it's a good idea. It's,
Yeah. Yeah. I just think it would be fun just to,
yeah, because you never know until you
it
try it.
spontaneously just set something up. You
Yeah.
know? When you have one of those good ideas, it's like stop the car, set everything up, and say it out loud,
I mean, yeah,
sort
you
of
can
thing.
look up on the internet, look, see if you find a good amp. Maybe they're kind of smaller nowadays and loud, if they're loud enough.
Yeah.
Um, mm,
Hmm. So yeah,
and
I know it was a couple of weeks ago. I did like a deep dive, like all day. I was researching stuff just to have an idea of like how much it's going to cost and
mhm,
things that I need. And I know like I threw in some like things that I could probably do without, like it won't end things, and it was
mhm.
about $1,500.
Wow, yeah, try not to spend too much on
Yeah,
stuff.
and I was like,
Yeah,
that's a lot, that's a
yeah,
lot,
not to spend too
sort
much
of
on it.
thing.
It's
Because I was thinking, oh, we need a screen, like a shield, like the plexiglass thing, and yeah, and I'm sure like a lot of that stuff I don't
mm,
need.
mm,
Lights and an amp, a few microphones, things like that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Well, I appreciate your time coming
oh,
on and speaking with me.
yeah.
Do you
On
want to
there.
promote your monthly show and let people know if they want to be on it, like how to request a spot or watch it?
Hmm. Yeah, sure. Yeah, uh, yeah, it's called the Funny Fest, and it's every first Friday. And you can contact me at you go to see on my back below there says DannyDechi.com. You can email me at my website there if you want to be or find me on Facebook. And my show I usually have like 10 comics. Do about it's the show's about an hour and a half. I give everybody 7 minutes, and I try to make it a showcase so it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of semi clean. You don't have to be perfect, squeaky clean.
Right.
Just semi clean. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just contact me. I'm not sure how long maybe I'll do August and then see how it goes after that.
Yeah.
And
Okay. So the
yeah,
best way to contact you is through your website or to look for you on Facebook.
yeah, Facebook or
Okay.
Instagram even, but I prefer Facebook. And when I go live, I'll have more opportunities for or more comedians. I have more. I have a bigger lineup for the live
Okay.
shows, and I'm going to try to do weekly. So look for that on my Facebook page and on my website. You'll see all that, all the info there, and yeah, just contact me. It's pretty much an open mic when I do it live and everything. So it's yeah,
Okay.
anybody can come along. I had a lot of, I've had many people start doing comedy on my shows. So
Oh, cool.
doing the first show on my yeah, doing that. So
Okay. So I'll include your website in the show notes. So thank you again. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me this
um,
evening.
yeah, my pleasure, Simon. Yeah,
Okay.
glad to be here and great to see you again, and hope
Great
to
to
see
see you
you.
too. Thank you
Okay,
very much.
thanks.
Okay. Bye, everyone. See you next time.
Bye.